are live. As I'm hitting my elbow, I'm pretty sure. Zack Gerber,
It's just
what's
you
up?
fucking DDT the fucking edge of the fucking table.
Yeah, that's the first thing people see. Zack Gerber, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Brant. How are you?
Oh man, I've had 2 solid days of more riding than my body was ready for.
Well, that's sick.
It is sick, but we're here today for real talk with Zack Gerber.
Dude,
I'm
there's so
excited.
much shit. My fucking DMs are all over the place of shit people want me to talk about because, man, I don't give a shit. I'll say, like, whatever.
So I guess I'll say where this came from. You posted an Instagram story talking about you're like, man, all these podcasts today, everybody just asks the same questions, and it's always like, how'd you get into BMX, and what's your favorite color, and whatever, and then you're like, nobody like has real discussions about things, and when you said that, I thought about it, and I'm like, he's kind of right. He's along the right lines where it's like there's a lot of getting to know people, but then you spend the whole time getting to know somebody and then you don't get discussions about topics near as much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit too. I mean, think about the stuff like you and I, even before we even started this podcast, how just like real and raw it is, just like shit you're talking about. Like, I always think that's why successful podcasts, like I even like name dropped like Joe Rogan shit,
Yep.
love him or hate him. It's just because it's just very authentic.
Yep.
And I feel authenticity is lacking in a lot of uh, podcasts, mostly because with money being behind them, you don't want to say things that could upset your viewers or your sponsors, your endorsements. Like, there are certain rules, you know what I mean, that you kind of have to follow. You don't want to push boundaries too much, even though like anyone involved with it, they know the backstory, they know any sort of. I'm not even just saying like myself, but anybody, you know, there's always BMX drama or like shit like that people want to know about and they don't get asked enough, or they just get like grazed over and it's like a vague response.
Yeah. Or do you have like it just exactly what you're saying, a vague response, or it's like, oh God. I mean, I'll be totally real. Like this whole conversation is going to be a real talk, and that's how I always am because I don't shy away from things, and that's why I responded to your thing. I was like, all right, let's do it then, because this in a way is like sort of like a significant marker for me because when I first started this YouTube channel, I had a very conscious thought of I'm going to get my paycheck from Google, not the BMX industry, so
Yeah.
that I can talk about whatever I want to and I don't have to worry about anybody being like, well, you can't get paid now because you said the wrong thing and you talked about the wrong subject in the wrong way. And it's like, we've all seen people tiptoe around subjects in BMX on podcasts, whatever it might be, because they have to.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that I have. Yo, so let me get this straight out of the cat out of the hat. Yo, just so everybody knows, uh, before they change the terminology, like, yo, I've been diagnosed with like Asperger's, so I've got autism. Like, if you haven't hung out with me and haven't figured that out yet, that's because you don't know me. So like, I'm sorry that I gotta be PC and say autism, but like, no, I've been diagnosed with Asperger's since I was in like middle school. So that's why I like when we were talking, like, I don't have it, like, I don't go out, I don't
Mm-hmm.
party, I don't drink, I do only a very small window of things that I like to do. And well, because of that autism, I guess, like, you can see patterns.
Yeah.
And I have problems with patterns. So when I see shit like going a certain direction, I'm like, hey, why is it doing that? And in addition, I also have no ability to see myself from somebody else's point of view.
Blessing and
Whether
a
that's a good
curse.
thing or a bad thing, I literally can't, like, I can't see, like, somebody's like, man, why would you say that? Why would you? And I'm like, I don't know, because like I thought it, so I said it. Like, I don't have a filter. You know, that's when it comes to making money, that's a bad thing because you give me a red line frame and it fucking sucks. So I try to spray paint it to make it fucking cool, but it's still fucking just polishing a turd. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, this thing fucking sucks, dude. Like, but I tried. And
Yeah.
it's just like, so that's just who I am. I don't have a filter because my brain just doesn't work normally. All right. So I just want to get that out of the fucking way. So if
Yeah.
you like wonder why I'm like saying this shit and like why I see this shit, like, I don't know what happened to BMX, man. Like, what happened to characters? That used to be something that we used to just harp on. Do you remember how big Big Daddy was because he was like a character?
Yeah.
Like, I grew up in an era of mid-era, like 90s, right? Early 2000s, Van Home and Criminal Mischief, CKY, skate videos.
Mm-hmm.
Flip, Sorry was one of my favorite skate videos. Um, Dude, just like everyone was a character. You know what I mean? Road Fools 8. You know what I mean? Road Fools, what was it? With Rick Molinterno fighting Dave Miro. Is that like 14, 13?
God, you're asking the wrong person.
You know what I mean? But that was like, I know I'm not up to date on my shit. Like, I don't live and breathe BMX, okay? Like, I just enjoy doing it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know my fucking history, okay? I know a little bit and I care about some stuff. But yeah, it's just like, to me, everyone was a character. I used to look up to Josh Stricker, was always one of my favorite riders because he pedaled fast. I mean, admittedly, I was into tight pants. I like tight pants. I thought it was sick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was like a drunk, like he was reckless as fuck. Like, I just thought that was sick, and I wanted to dress like him, be like him. I mean, I never drank, but I still looked like shit. I'd end up with like ripped pants and shit, wearing that stuff all the time. But like, there's people who I wanted to be like, not only because how they rode, but also because how they dressed, who they were like. And I mean, even in the early Ride BMX magazines, when we had, things about Jay Miron being a like carpenter, you know what I mean? There was an entire thing of like stuff that they're doing outside of BMX. It was more about who the person was.
Yep.
And over the last 2 decades, I mean, that sounds nuts to say because fuck, we've been riding for so long.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's no characters anymore. There are, but they're within this window of allowed personalities. And if you fringe outside that, even a little bit, you stray outside, you're suddenly in this like group that nope, can't have any part of you.
Yeah.
And that's where I see a problem. That's why I was discussing Street League's involvement moving from like ESPN, YouTube to Rumble, and a portion of the skate community throwing temper tantrums over it. And my brain is like, I literally wrote and had like dudes like fucking losing their shit on me because I was like, so it's okay for a viewer to go from Street League to the Young Turks, but it's unacceptable to go from Street League to Ben Shapiro. All you're fucking saying is that your political views are aligned, and so it's okay, but if it's not aligned, it's not okay. And all I'm saying is like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
That's where I'm just like, yo, like, in society, you should be able to fucking see both sides of the coin and then be cognitive enough to fucking make your own rational decisions, question things, learn some things. But that doesn't exist anymore. This all comes into that entire big picture of like the allotted window. What do they call it in they have a good name for it in like the libertarian fucking
Oh God, I don't
the
know.
libertarian fucking frame set. They call it the something window, I don't know, like
Somebody might know.
the goalpost, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I feel like that window's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, and that can't be good for anybody.
Well, so I think what's contributed to that a little bit is one, the fact that BMX has gone from the era of videos that are long form with the props vibe of seeing the behind the scenes of things to it went through a period of just like people were not people anymore. They were trick machines to make riding videos with absolutely no personality in them just because we're putting out riding videos and that's it. And then also combine that with the fact that there's no denying that it feels like you have to ride a certain way and do certain things to be involved with certain like to get to a certain level in BMX. Yeah. And what's crazy about that in my mind is that like when you look at a lot of the people who are getting like flow and am. There's a lot of people who ride very similar, but then you look at the pro teams and there's like all these people who ride so different.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird to me because like you guys are breeding a lot of the same, but your teams in the pro level are people who are being themselves, but everyone wants to be them.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, I have some of that talking about here, like the homogenous
I was going to
blob
use that word.
that like shit's becoming. It's gray.
Mm-hmm.
It's sport biking, dude. Do you think? I was thinking about this concept, like something we've seen over the years is starting riding. You were like bullied, right? Like that's part of the reason why when you found somebody else who was wearing like a Little Devil T-shirt or like the grommet belt, you'd be like, yo, dude, you ride? You ride bikes? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe that's why, because like society didn't like you riding bikes. Society was you were supposed to be doing this on a Friday night. You're supposed to be playing football. You're supposed to be dating cheerleaders. You're supposed to be doing this. BMX to me was always that alternative. BMX was that fuck you.
Yeah.
BMX was that fuck you, I'll do what I want.
Yep.
Like that entire mentality that's the way I still live today. It's like, fuck you, I do what I want. That's it. Mm-hmm. Like, love me or hate me, fuck you, I do what I want. And that's been good and bad, and then however you want to look at it. But yeah, man, just that whole thing of like turning into like sport biking because of the potentiality of it being like an Olympic sport, because of advertising, because of the way sponsors are endorsing people, like what tricks you have to do, et cetera, et cetera. I think that could be something that's of high debate. Like, has the Olympics and things like that, high-end contest, FICE is starting soon.
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah, talk about, like, I mean, that's park riding. Me and you were even discussing, here's a side subject, my brain's going everywhere. Like, when we first started discussing, like, when BMX started splitting into groups. Mm-hmm. When we just used to ride, we just kind of rode whatever we could. You had a ramp in front of you, rode it. Had a ledge, had a rail, garbage.
Yeah,
whatever. And if you could find something fun to ride that made it fun, you just rode it. And then as things developed, there was like categorization that started occurring. When everything was like, are you a park rider? Are you a street rider? Are you a dirt jump rider? Are you trails? Are you flatland? And then that subtle division has now infiltrated BMX into fucking like you gotta fucking be like a BMX rider with your fucking, not only or like what you prefer to ride, like it's just everything's subdivided into categories, and that's been society too, like gender shit, everything that goes into what your pronouns are, all that shit now has been categorized. Layer after layer after layer. Everybody's so fucking putting everybody into fucking groups. What group? Where do you fit in? What are you? Are you cis white gender male? Are you fucking, you know what I mean? And are you a cis white gender street riding male? Like, well, Jesus Christ! Like,
I think part of that discussion too, though, is that like when you look at BMX as a whole and you don't look at the outside of BMX things, like I would argue the Olympics is outside of BMX because it's us going to that or them coming to get whatever that is. But when you look at BMX as a whole, there's room for everybody as far as like you got the act like you know people and how like they do a lot of stuff with cult, and like it feels like a lot of those guys are connected with cult, whatever it is. Like people like the act like you know people are connected to the BMX industry. Then you've got all those groups have their like companies that support them, and there's room for all of them within BMX. But I think the distinction with what you're talking about is that like to make it in that Olympic side of things, you have to ride a certain way because it's only park right now. And to fit the mold of working with those companies, you got to fit in that genre. So it's like, it's not necessarily that it is taking over or it's more or anything like that. It's just like that is what people see the most.
Valid. And then that creates a bell curve of interests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like, okay, this is the peak where people are seeing FICE or Olympics, the most viewed. And then from there, it can subcategorize into different types of riding. But that viewership is also what drives what you do as a rider, potentially. I mean, it may change. Obviously, I could fucking stand for that. Like, I used to ride a certain way. Now I don't.
It depends on
you know
what
I
you're
mean?
into.
Everybody changes how they ride, what they're into, but that's also an expression of their individualized self. Maybe that's that whole thing we were discussing, like where riders who have been paid riders for so long suddenly up and quit. Maybe that's because they weren't being themselves.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's just like
damn.
they were just doing it for money. They were like, I got to maintain this level. I got to do these tricks. And I don't know. I mean, as a former sponsored rider, that's how I felt. And it really made my riding shit. Like, because I was like, man, I got to film 3 clips. Hey, man, will you do this? My friend's riding. I'm like, hey, will you like film my shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that one's super weird from my
Yeah.
perspective, because I look at all those people who are pros and they openly talk about, like, I realize that this is a job and that I have things I have to do to keep this job, just like everybody who works a normal job. And like, I recognize what I have to do to keep my job and stay in my position. And then I'm over here like, I've spent so long just being me and doing exactly what I want to do that it built this thing that made it so that I'm like approaching being in that world, but I just do the things that got me here naturally. And it's like, it makes it weird to look at the people who are like, all right, I know I have to do this regardless of how much I want to do it.
I think that's something that's kind of changing too, as more people are realizing that. Like, I mean, Spencer Forsman.
Yeah.
He's just like, fuck you, I do what I want.
Yep.
God, I mean, let's just take a second to all bow our heads and give appreciation for him throwing that frame off that ramp, because that was probably one of the best things that's ever happened.
That was like crazy that he took it to that level, stood his ground, and was like, look,
oh, dude,
I'm not cool with this.
It's so sick. It's so sick. I'm like, I was so proud to be, yo, that's my friend. I know him. That was cool. And people were like, the comments are like, hey, I would have rode that. I would have rode that. Like,
it was not yours.
Yeah, you didn't earn it. Shut the fuck up. Like, who are you? I don't know who you are.
Do whatever he wants
Eat Master on fucking YouTube. Nice handle name, by the way. You got 3 videos, and it's you like eating a can of beans or something. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
I want to make something very clear too in this conversation, is that something that I don't think people realize in the types of conversations that we're having, is that I don't think people can disconnect the fact that their opinions are their opinions and their feelings are their feelings, and those two things don't mean that the entire world of BMX should bend to that.
yeah.
Like, you feel the way that you feel about certain things, and that does not mean that everyone else has to feel that way.
Exactly. Dude, like, yeah, well, we can get into a larger debate on that because of like modern day internet censorship and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I have a thing in there about that.
That's like one of the main things this shit's coming down to when we're discussing the window of acceptable speech.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's even affecting BMX, and I mean me directly in hobbies that I have, completely like more legal than BMX.
Mm-hmm.
Like way more legal than BMX.
Oh, dude, that's a crazy topic in itself.
Yeah,
wow.
like, and it's just nuts to see like how, like, they don't want. So like, if I put like riding videos out, 15, 50,000, 60,000 views, people fucking blowing it up, sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
If I take those same riding clips and put a little pew pew with it,
nothing.
Nope, nothing. And it's just insane how they can monitor and censor that shit. And that's what scares me, because the window of acceptable speech is not acceptable, right? So you just got to talk about whatever we want to talk about. Like I said, you hear both perspectives, hear it out, make a rational decision on what you think and feel with your experiences, what's your lived experience, all that shit. And then you draw a line in the sand and you say, this is where I stand, but also be intelligent enough to be like, if I get new information, I can change my position.
Yep, there's something that the whole world needs to learn, and that is that if you can't make a argument for the opposite side of your opinion on something, then you have no right to your opinion, because you have to know both sides to make an intelligent thing. What was it? I just watched the JRE with that I think he's I don't want to get where he's from wrong, but he's like that crazy scientist guy who's like 70 something years old with white hair. He's saying the only way to get to like correct ideas is by discussing incorrect ideas.
Yo, it's like the only way to land a bike trick is by wrecking trying that bike trick.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what the fuck? Trial and error, dude. That's all we do on repeat until you land it.
Yeah, but the whole world just wants to assume one side or jump on one side of the boat, and then without even considering the other side at all, and it sucks.
And then if you hear something from the other side, it's because that's the problem I deal with all the fucking time, dude. And it pisses me off because people like assume that the hobby that I'm into, aside from riding, is...
I'll say it. Zack Gerber likes guns.
I like guns.
There you go. That hobby.
But I'm not the same. But people are like, you're an NRA member. I'm like, no, I'm not. I fucking hate the NRA. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, old fuds telling me about their 1911s and 2 world wars. I don't want to hear about that shit. Fuds hate me. I have pink and orange and purple guns. They hate that shit. They hate me and what I do for fun.
Yeah.
But that's why I like it, because to me, that's like the new counterculture shit. That's that fuck you, I do what I want mentality of like, both groups hate that shit. The far left and the fucking super old FUD far right conservatives. Like, they're like, hey, why can't you just buy a normal weapon? I got iron sights. You know what I mean? Like, in that same mentality is in the BMX, and I hate it because BMX is where I met like all my gay friends, all my black friends, all my trans friends. People who were like gay furries who I had no idea what they're into, but I didn't give a fuck because we were riding bikes together. I don't give a fuck what you do behind closed doors. That doesn't make me judge you. I don't care. I'm here to ride bikes. Let's learn foo-fanoos. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Now, instead, all that shit is on the table. It's like the fucking resume. As soon as you fucking meet somebody or they add you on Instagram, it's right on top. Their whole resume of who they are, what they do, what they feel, who they are, the flags, the fucking... which side of the aisle they fucking sit on, and it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, why do you want to be categorized? Why do you want to be put into a fucking box?
And it's instantly, if you're on the other side, you're an enemy, and we can't be friends if you don't believe what I believe. And that is in BMX too, in that you see it, and if you don't do the tricks this certain way, or you don't do this a certain way, and you know what's also hilarious about that part of the conversation is that we all have a line where it's like, yeah, everybody should be cool with their friend and how they ride, but motherfucker, if you don't hit that ice bonk right, you better do it again, because you can't post that.
Yeah, that's just an acceptable level of like, and be able to also take criticism in that too, like especially as your friend, like, hey, you know that wasn't good enough, you know it sucked, you know what I mean, like, but that criticism and everything is just, I don't know. And that's what's nuts about most of this shit. Most everybody assumes they fucking know me from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, if you think you can fucking know something about somebody who's been alive for damn near 40 years, you don't even have my phone number. You don't know my middle name. You fucking have never hung out with me or been to my house.
Yep.
And yet you think because of like a video I shared, you can automatically categorize me into this Trump-loving bigot homophobe? Dude, you are fucking mistaken. And that's like, just pisses me the fuck off, because like these people are judging me without anything. And they judge so many people, and that's a fucking problem, dude. It drives me nuts. No matter what side of the aisle you sit on.
Hi. That's, oh my God, all he does is sit in ice pick stalls all day. Like, it's the same conversation, and it's crazy.
Dude, I've been talking to Mr. Charlie Crumlish, you know, that S&M ATF frame. I'm trying to make him, I'm like, yo, we got to get some fuck the ATF frame. You know what I'm talking about? The ATF. And then Brant, you're just going to sit in an ice pick and you're going to service one of your rifles, you're gonna clean it and shit, and then I'm gonna send that off to some fucking some companies and shit in the gun community and be like, yo, this shit's tight. Just because it's a fucking joke, man. It's a joke, and it pisses, like, God damn it. You can just laugh at the absurdity, but instead people just come at you like, yo, you're a psychopath. You're gonna hurt people. Like, I've had people be like, yo, I can't come over. There's a gun in the house. And I'm like,
For
what?
real?
Yeah, dude. Like, no, I can't
my
be around guns. I'm like, are you saying that I'm going to hurt you? They're like, no, I trust you, but just guns are dangerous. I'm like, the only way a weapon
just
would do
sitting
anything
there.
is in the hand of somebody with intent to cause harm.
Jesus God. Like that's the kind of like thing that's like how do we help people get back to like the reasonable thing? And I think that's all it is that like there's a reasonable middle where people are just listening to both sides and like, all right, here's my opinion, whatever that might be. It could, and that's the whole thing of that reasonable middle could be wherever. It's just that's my reasonable thought and decision to something. And then you've got all this craziness on
Yeah.
both sides. It's just like, how would this turn into a political conversation? We're
You
talking
know,
about
yes,
BMX.
everything's fucking become political, dude.
You're right.
The government is involved with which bathroom you can go into. Do you realize that? Like, there's motherfucking states right now that want to make it illegal for you to, like, you're going to get arrested for going in the wrong fucking bathroom. The government has expanded way too much into all this kind of shit. Just like, yo, what the fuck? Dude, how many guys out there or people identify as male, who fucking cares? Or like, yo, I gotta piss. Oh, there's someone in there. I'm gonna go in the girls' room.
Yeah.
I've done that a bunch of times at fucking like public Flying J fucking gas stations. You know what I mean? Yo, it's fucking 15 seconds of awkwardness. Why the fuck do we need the government to come in and say whether you can and cannot use a restroom? And then the right would come in and be like, they'd make this scenario. They're like, well, my daughter's in there. And one of them trans comes in. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Then leave. There you go. What the fuck are you talking about? You create these like wild scenarios that are like, already it's only 1% of the population. It's such a small portion. And then you're creating a scenario which is more and more statistically irregular. And you're living in this world of like, I gotta be ready. It's like, dude, it's fucking, that's what's nuts, dude. We have like you were saying, there's no middle ground anymore. You have the loud left, the canceling loud left, and then you have the reactionary right. And it's tearing shit apart because this group is being loud because they want to be recognized. And then this group does things to overreact, like overturning Roe versus Wade and shit like that, to overreact to this group. Meanwhile, the center, which is like where we sit, we're like, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, yo, can't you just fucking agree to disagree? Maybe that's the era that we grew up when the left and the right would negotiate and one would have to compromise. You guys remember compromise?
Yeah.
And be like, okay, we're going to agree to this a little bit, and then you guys will have to lose a little bit, I'll lose a little bit, and then we'll come to an agreement. No, It's fucking gone now. It's either black or white. And that's a fucking problem for people like us who are like in the middle, who are just like, yo, dude, like, I'm an individualist. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like,
so
as long as you're not hurting people or you don't fucking like destroy property or damage things in the process, I really don't give a fuck what you do. You want to shoot heroin? I don't care. You want to build rocket launchers? I don't care.
Yo.
As long as you don't fucking hurt people, just that's it. That's where I'm at, dude. That's and that shit. Like people are like, yep, you're a fucking extremist. Yep.
So, all right, I'm gonna reel us back in a little bit because we got way out of here. No, it's okay. I have a question to get us like in a good spot here. When did people start being scared in BMX to scared to talk about certain like ideas and things? When do you think that happened?
I mean, it's a long process.
Right. When I wonder when
it had
started.
to be like, yo, imagine the Gen Z, you guys will never fucking understand this fucking hellscape that we lived in. When you used to get a video and you'd post it and share it amongst your friends, and then contributors to a website called The Come Up would judge you based on your merits and writing abilities, and if it was good enough, they would post it. And then from there, anonymous commenters like Mike Spinner or Dave Mira would tell you to fucking kill yourself if you landed in grass. Okay? Right? Like, that's where we started. And then, you remember when the come up suddenly had no longer anonymous commenting and they had Facebook attached to it? That was it. That was a moment where shit started when that window used to be this fucking big and it started going in, because that was the beginning of what was acceptable speech. Before, it was completely fucking no holds barred. You'd have fucking 1,000 messages of people trolling you, then they're trolling the trolls, and it looked like a fucking Reddit Discord.
Literally, I was thinking
right?
Reddit. When I don't know if you would agree with this or not, but I kind of feel like it meant more to get posted back in the come up peak, whether it was on Ride or the come up or Vital. I felt like it was more of an achievement to have that happen in those days.
Because that was when a time, is everyone familiar with what meritocracy is? Meritocracy is the concept of a hierarchical structure based on the merit or ability of the individual. That's what BMX was. And there was this group of contributors, some of them anonymous, and no one really know who they were. We had an idea, but they're kind of like a ghostly figure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who is Pat Quinn? Ooh. You know what I mean? Like,
PQ.
And they would judge the video. They would watch it because they were of good moral and moral standing. And they had a standard, this bar that you had to be good enough to get into. Remember even being upset about that? Like, yo, I thought this video was fucking sick, and they won't post it.
And guess what? You worked harder next time.
Yeah, and that was the thing that gave you a reason to strive better, film better, do better. And it also was a way to bring your friends up too and work together in groups. I really think when the come up went from anonymous shit posting to having Facebook attached to it, and then obviously the loss of the come up, and for as awful as Adam 22 is, the loss of his character and what, you know what I mean, like OSS and everything was, and whether you hate him, you should hate him. I'll say it, fuck it. For what he's done, he did do a lot. And that was a character as well. He was an individual. He was pushing his view of what BMX was. But that also was a time period, too, where we split shit into, are you a park rider or are you a street rider? That was like a major division time period, the way you dress, that was the time period I was telling you about. Remember when everyone's like, if you rode park and you landed flat, everyone's yelling street. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like how that shit started, dude.
At the same time, I feel like everybody who was determined that the video was good enough still got like put out there, and it was still, because that was a point in time where Sponge and I started to get posted, was at the very like last couple years of anonymous comments, and it was like, we're riding a prefab skate park in Ohio in a lot of the stuff that we did, and even that ended up being a thing. And I have a hot take about Adam 22 and the come up, and I've said this before because I'm totally open with it, and I would love to have a conversation with Adam 22 about this, because I feel like at the peak of the come up and their YouTube channel, they were doing more for BMX than any media page does today.
Yo, love it or hate it, I will fucking second that opinion.
It's true. They were posting videos with different pros, literally from all around the country.
Even if you fucking disagree with the man and everything, and you hated what the fuck ever, that is a fact. I believe that. My autism seconds it. Like, like, dude,
we're in 2023.
Like,
there's no debating what you just said. If your autism seconded it, you can't argue against that. That's a trump card. Oh, wait, can we say that anymore?
Oh, no, canceled. It's over. They're assassinating character. Brant Moore, bigot. Like, god damn it, dude. It's so fucking nuts. Why are you assuming shit?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you? But anyways, yeah, man, I'm willing to take that.
It's true.
The come up did a lot for BMX, dude.
There's I was just gonna say, there's a reason why companies were willing to pay thousands and thousands of dollars every month just to advertise on the come up. It's because that's where that page created an environment that people wanted to be on and go to, whether it was because of the back and forth in the anonymous comments, or if it was because only the best of the best stuff and not just who's paying you and who you're
Yep.
obligated to post gets put on there. It was just the best stuff.
Dude, 100%. Like, yeah, it was. I don't know. I mean, whether you're there for the fucking hot scene girls, I mean, that was cool. Do you remember the fucking
I came after
the
that time.
fucking
I was after that.
all the topics and shit that you could do too? Like, all dude, there was so many fucking tabs and shit you could go into, the board, TCU board. Old motherfucking heads right now know what the fuck I'm talking about and
That's
shit that would go
funny.
on in those fucking chat rooms.
It's
But
real
yeah,
though.
man, it definitely was. When there was like a level of riding that you had to be in. It wasn't whether you were sponsored, endorsed, paid, or it was like putting money in the pockets of, it was growing the culture. It was
Yeah.
giving a bar to the industry, to riders to be above, to get on, you know what I mean? Like you had to achieve something. You didn't have to have money attached to your name to get shit. And dude, it's just diluted ever since. It's just gotten fucking more money bound, more people worried about short term. They're all focused on short term gains versus long term losses because they can't see their fucking, what's the saying? Can't see the nose in front of their face. They can't see the future, so they focus on like the here and now. And
Can't
that's
see the
done
forest for the
irreparable
trees.
damage to our fucking industry, dude.
I absolutely agree. And the other side of that is the YouTube channel that they had where they were posting videos with all these different pros that everybody loved at that point in time and doing those Instagram slams or just a game of bike. And it was like that was the modern day like props of that point in
Yep.
time where it was like kids watch those videos. And the reason why kids love Steve Churchill and Brandon Began is because they saw him on the come up and got to know who they were in these games of bike and got to see more than just the trick machine to pump out trick
Personalities,
videos.
dude. And you want to talk about trick machine, fucking Churchill, that's just a
Seriously.
fucking superhuman level shit.
Yeah, for
Um,
real.
but also like his personality, who he was behind the scenes, the antics, the shithead behavior, like, and I mean, Adam groomed the shit out of him to get fucking, you know what I mean, and used him to get that popularity and like whatever fucking negative shit you want to say about it. Who really fucking cares? It was something that's very good for the culture, regardless of the money that was behind it. If you were growing the culture, that was what's important. And fast forward today, that's what I think a lot of things, because our window has shrunk to what is acceptable. Just gonna keep fucking saying it. What is acceptable? We're missing out. The industry, the culture is missing out on a lot of these younger Gen Z kids and their feeling of angst, their feeling of like loneliness, their feeling of not knowing what to do with their lives, especially for those kids who like every single fucking day, they're like, yeah, you don't have a future. Whether it's like climate change, they're being told like the world's going to end. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
dude,
Or
can you
like the financial
imagine?
system's going to collapse. They don't
Imagine being
have
a
it. They're
kid
like, why the fuck
today.
am I even going to try? What the
Dude,
fuck am I even supposed to do? Like a sense of
imagine.
hopelessness. Man, like these are kids who like, and I mean, I listen to that fucking music on SoundCloud. You know what I mean? I'm into like listening to these new punk bands that
Mm.
are just like so upset about modern dating culture. You know what I mean? And how shit it is. And it's just like, yo, that angst is there. That's what BMX was a relief for, was a place for people with kind of like broken homes, shitty upbringings. It was always a second home. It was a good feeling. It was something that you could strive and work towards and create something that was bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And instead, everyone in the BMX industry just looks like they're marketing for fucking Coca-Cola or McDonald's.
Well, they're just literally, man, it was specifically when it comes to the media side of BMX, it's like what people don't realize when they're scrolling through a media page is that if there's a company tagged in that post, it was paid for. Hands down, period. Or they're good friends with the people who are posting that and it's getting posted out of good faith. So we went from that. I'm going to say it now. Somebody was like, my man said meritocracy, but we went from that meritocracy in BMX of like, if you did good enough, you got the love, to if you end up riding for the right people and they pay the right people, you get the love. Where you have this whole segment of people out there who might be riding for not anybody, who never gets seen, even though they're incredible, because it didn't get put in front of somebody because the dollars weren't there. That's why the hub I ride, the free night, the planetary free coaster concept, the reason that didn't blow up before I made videos about it is because they couldn't pay to have the advertising in BMX media, and nobody knew about it. And then I started making videos, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, holy shit, what is this hub? This is crazy technology. This is amazing. Because you can't give the hub to a rider who rides for a company that makes parts, because they can't talk about it. And you can't, if they're not going to pay BMX media to post about it, how do they learn about it?
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's real as fuck. Is just being able to give an honest criticism about something, which is like, yo, BMX hates any sort of fucking criticism. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's basically been my entire life. Like, I just have, like, the way my brain works, I see things. Like, the biggest example is, like, me years ago getting on Facebook and being like, hey, does anybody know how the judges for X Games Real Street are chosen? Mm-hmm. And then Chris Rye chimes in, and then eventually fucking, what the fuck's his name? The dude who ran the whole thing.
I don't know.
What the fuck was his name? Y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. He got all fucking butthurt, like, you don't think I'm doing a good enough job? Why don't you start your own X Games? And it's like, no, dude, you don't understand. My brain just wants an answer to, like, how do you do this? Do you have a criteria? Do you, like... Yeah. Like, that's all I want to know, because I think judging is very important, and it's important to have, like, old heads with new heads so everybody can get along, because if you got people like Van Homan, everyone loves Van Homan, but Van Homan was winning dirt contests with no-footed can-cans and turndowns. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you look at the fucking triple challenge now, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? So it's important to have people who are, like, either were pro recently and old heads too, to, like, give it that old, like, yo, the way he, like, clicked that turn down. You know what I mean? Like, it's important to have both. And for me to just honestly ask a question was enough for, like, people to be like, yeah, fuck you. And now they never want to fuck with me, because it's just like, oh, he's just fucking a piece of shit. He's fucking saying all this shit. It's like, no, I just genuinely, like, my brain. Do you know how hard it is for me as a person? Like, if I just got a generator and it wouldn't run. Do you know how I don't, like, you ever see that meme where it's like the girl and the guy laying in bed?
Yeah.
And she's like, I bet he's thinking of other women. And it's just the guy like, man, why won't it start? It's got air, it's got spark, it's got... Yeah. Like, yo, I literally will stay up and, like, not be able to fucking sleep if I have a fucking problem, because my brain's like, you have to resolve this. You have to resolve this.
Dude.
And that's what was going on. I just asked an honest question because I couldn't understand why, and I would like to know. And then instead I'm chastised and literally labeled as, like, you know, a fucking liability. Oh, he's reckless. He'll say anything. And it's just like, no, I just actually have genuine questions. And I'm sorry that, like, asking questions now is, like, forbidden. I just want to know. I'm not trying to fucking say your shit sucks. I'm literally just, I want to know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's the fucking world we live in too. So.
Oh, absolutely. And
that was years ago. God damn it.
All right, I got it. There's a question in the chat. I don't know if this is the Andy Garcia. Is that the rider? Am I saying? That's a guy, right? That's another guy. He's super tech. Am I thinking is this who this is? Either way, he asked why the weird bars, not hating, just never seen that style. This is a great topic of conversation in this conversation, and I'll just answer that directly so we can keep it going. But I was around for when Carl at MooreBMX decided he was going to make the first version of those bars, and the intent of it was like, it makes candy bars easier, it makes saran wraps easier. Okay, he's not the Andy Garcia. Anyways, it makes these things easier, and then the 4-piece version came out, and I was like, dude, why did the 2-piece version ever exist? These are amazing. These are way sicker looking. I'm like, look, I'm riding these, and now it's to the point where my hair and my handlebars are me. And if you don't like it, well, sorry.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. That's, yeah, at least you fucking stay to, like, yeah, and I mean, yo, talk about a real motherfucker, like, despite, like, yo, I'll even say my own shit, like, despite my own opinion of, like, Nowhere and Carl, like, if I'm going to say, like, I don't like that stuff. Brant,
you're allowed to not like that. You're not.
Exactly.
And you're
And I have
allowed
no
to.
beef with you. I'm allowed to say, hey, that's not my style. It's not my taste.
We rode together every day in Columbus when I had those bars. Like,
Yeah.
it's life.
Yeah, exactly. But and I won't ride them, but you will, and maybe others will. Maybe we'll. Who fucking actually cares? Splitting it down into that much.
Mm-hmm.
Carl's a fucking G though. Like he's one of the most like. Once again, like what he does, don't like what he does. It don't matter. The man's fucking staying in his lane, doing his own fucking thing, and you have to at least respect that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like what matters. He's an individual. He stays in his lane and he does what he does. He doesn't cater. He doesn't sway to money. He doesn't fucking. And that's pretty sick. I respect people who do that shit no matter what. Like, you just stay true to who you are. That's what an individual should and always do. So.
Yep. And, like, nobody goes into the amount of debt or digs themselves into, like, the crazy project. I don't want to call them holes because that makes it sound negative, but, like, all right, I'm going to build a 30-foot tall slant wall. Like, just so that we could have this crazy thing at an event, and I'm going to be tens of $1,000s in debt for just trying to do this stuff to like literally just help BMX and help the scene. Like, nobody keeps that up for 10 years if they're faking it.
Yeah.
But to try and steer us back again, like,
Oh, yeah, I feel like I told you, man. I also have like super bad ADHD, so like my brain's like I got like that Alex Jones talking pattern where I'm like,
it's okay.
like fucking 5 stories deep in a rant.
This is just part of the conversation though. But you talked a little bit earlier about like BMX and hating things and all of this, and I have a really like I feel I have a pretty like strong stance on this stuff too, because it feels like BMX just needs something to hate on at any given time, and they might hate on something that could be beneficial, or BMX might hate on something that could be beneficial to itself without even caring about it. Like, for example, the whole YouTube thing. Like, we're on YouTube right now. Every single BMX company has a YouTube channel. Most of them try to post videos on it because they realized they don't need thecomeUp.com anymore when they can just post on their own YouTube. But there was a period in time where people were just like, fuck YouTube and anybody who does it.
Remember Vimeo?
Vimeo sucked, but it was the place to be.
I was in a time period. Remember how YouTube used to not let you use any music, so everybody used Vimeo, and then Vimeo now is like super fucking.
Yeah, they were even
cringe.
worse. They
Like,
delete your stuff if you don't have it.
Yeah, dude, I lost a shit ton of fucking videos.
A lot
I'm
of
pissed.
people did.
All my old shit is gone, like from 15 years ago.
Yeah, but either way, it's like BMX. It's like a bandwagon of hate. And like it's all part of the same conversation.
Dude, fuck that shit. Like, yo, you remember the Come Up's tagline was "Embrace Hate"? Do you remember those shirts?
No.
Fuck, dude, that was sick. Remember, like TCU's original thing? It had the balloon.
Yeah.
And had the "Embrace Hate." I got some old shirts riding like Changa 57 back in the day, and I always used to wear that shit. It's just a weird time period, man, where people used to like actually like if you got hated on, that was like, all right, more power to me. Fuck you, watch me do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, dude, that shit. BMX is always like a microcosm for the larger world. It always works out that way.
Yeah.
When BMX started doing the like Facebook attachment to TCU stuff because of like cyberbullying, racism, whatever the fuck, homophobia, whatever was going on, that kind of was going on in real life too. Remember the anti-bullying campaign? I mean, shit, dude, I did stunt shows, BMX stunt shows to like promote that shit. And it keeps me up at night because I don't know, man, that bullying shit can go too far too. Like, you can have really negative bullying, and then you can have some bullying that's good, especially how men work. You give each other shit all the time. Like that post I even made, you like talk shit on your friends, they talk shit on you. You even said, hey man, that ice pick chin you did, you didn't hit it hard enough, it's not good. You know what I mean? You're criticizing your friends, that's talking shit, that's giving them a hard time. There has to be that allowed a little bit of push and push back. You obviously don't want to get into toxic things, but it's got to exist to some point. You got to get mad at your friends sometimes. I mean, shit, some of my best friends growing up, me and Monkey used to do that. Me and Charlie Bowers I mean, I remember you and I talking about him. Monkey's the fucking best rider ever.
Incredible.
Like, him and I got into a fucking fist fight because he did a manual before I did when we first started riding. I was so pissed off. We just started fist fighting in front of our old high school.
Yeah.
We didn't talk for like 2 weeks.
So like the thing that I wonder about is like where does that line lie? When it comes to friends, that line is determined by you and that other person. I think where it gets fuzzy is when it comes to like when you direct that towards somebody you don't know and have never met before and you can't gain any context because you don't know the person. It's like,
Yeah.
or it's like hyper focused and it's like a everyday kind of thing.
Yeah, so you could probably break that in a little bit in like categories. If you're hating for the sake of hating, like you're just like, I don't like this person because if you're ignorant and it's just because of like gender, race. I mean, if you're even in
Riding
that category,
style,
like, yo,
bike bars, like whatever.
we could fucking, man, we could talk about that shit. I mean, I'll even talk about the Hinkins thing. If you want to talk about racism involving how that shit should fucking be handled, yo, if you have a fucking racist homie, if you have somebody you know who's being fucking racist, don't fucking try to cancel them. Punch them. If they're being legitimately racist, because everything's fucking racist now. If you go into Google and type, is time racist? Or diesel trucks racist? Everything, there will be a fucking college letter, like a fucking, a senior thesis on it. But I'm talking real fucking racism. We've lost touch with that too, because everything's fucking racist now. Everything's homophobic. When everything is racist, then nothing's racist.
Can we make this even broader?
Diluting the fucking how serious that shit is.
Let's make this even broader because it's a thing of BMX. This brings in the meme page category, but make this even broader in that if your friend's being a piece of shit in front of you and you don't check them on it, it's also your fault. People won't check their friends anymore.
Check people.
Check your friends.
Motherfucker, yo, Sean Moore, you should have fucking checked Mike Hinkins. He says the fucking N-word, deck him in the fucking mouth, and I guarantee you would never fucking say it again. Don't wait 8 years and bring it up on social media. You fucking should have just punched him. Literally. Does everybody know who Jason Govin is?
Yeah.
I'm going to give a shout out to Jason Govin. Literally. Him and I had this discussion about this. He's like, yeah, she just fucking handled it right there. That's how we stop this shit in real life.
Check your friends if they're being an idiot.
In that fringe shit where people are doing stuff like people like Pepe the Frog memes and like Pepe the Frog's a hate symbol. Well, it matters how it's used.
Yeah.
Matters if it's satirical. These people get fucking upset about Babylon Bee posts.
Could be a hate symbol if you made it one.
You need to understand when it's being used, and with the news and with everybody so hypercritical about everything being racist or homophobic or transphobic, people lose what it actually is, and that causes that fucking snap to the right, that neocon right reactionary side, and that shit fucking sucks too. Like those meme videos of like the famous one where it's like a vegan teacher being like, if you're not a vegan, you're a Nazi, and then it's like the German, like it's Nazis going to like, it's like me and the boys going to McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's what you're causing. You're causing a right reaction in this culture because you're making everything everyone does, especially for like my age group where we grew up being like, yo, that's retarded. That's fucking gay. Mm-hmm. Like you're calling your friends fag. That's fucking normal language that we grew up in. I'm sorry that today's people, kids, you're upset about that, but I'm old. I'm basically the boomer now, okay? So fucking, what the fuck you gonna do? Like, that's how we just talked, and I understand. Like, Samson, you know Samson. Mm-hmm. He doesn't say those words, and that's a personal choice that he makes, and he will gladly, like, be like, hey, look, this is what he said, and, like, show us somebody who's, like, spouting off some shit, and it'd be like, he chooses not to say those words. That's his fucking choice. Yeah. I don't fucking live that way. No matter what the fucking word is, if it's in context and I'm reading it and I'm not using the word in a bigoted fashion, like towards somebody, what the fuck?
Yeah, in a derogatory like way to try and harm them in some. Yeah, it's just like it comes back to just the whole thing of like people are too scared or won't say something to somebody who's doing something wrong in the moment, but they'll be on the internet and attack people for something that's like isn't actually messed up. And
Yeah, like,
BMX has that all the time.
yeah, no shit. I'm the fucking first person to ever have my character assassinated within the industry. All right? That's what something that directly happened. I was the first ever person canceled. Well, maybe before, what was it, Jim Jones?
I have no idea.
Listen, every BMX rider who's of my age group will remember the East Coast Terminal contest where he won. Steve Crandall made him a painting, and he smashed the painting and took the money instead. He didn't want the fucking painting from Crandall.
Jeez.
And everybody fucking hated him and like basically canceled him out of the industry and like couldn't get any sponsors and shit like that. And then me. And I got canceled because of all the shit with Catfish. And then obviously, just like modern world, he had more followers than me. He's allowed to say what the fucking truth is. And when you fucking get to speak to more people than I have, of course, then his story goes and mine doesn't mean shit. I don't get to defend myself. That's what you can do on social media now. That's how you can lie through the news. If you get enough people saying something's true, does that mean it's true? Well, 100,000 people said it was true.
Oh, that brings up the topic of just like people who have the influence are able to help their whoever they want get into certain positions in BMX. Like, and then other people get glossed over because they're not friends with the right people and whatever.
I mean, that fucking exists within any realm. And it's
Everywhere,
also
true.
like, we all know the fucking saying, it's who you know and who you blow.
Yep.
And just, I'm not somebody who's blowing anybody. Fuck you. Like, maybe that's why the industry doesn't like me either, is because shit that I've done riding wise, like, fuck, we kind of got to share his shit because we'll get views off of it. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't get that direct money kickback because they're sharing an endorsed rider. But they're like, well, at least we'll get views.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm one of the last few people. And I mean, I can't say that for just myself. That's so fucking egotistical. I apologize. There's other motherfuckers out there who do wild shit and get shared, or, you know, it's not just me, but you got to do some pretty heavy shit nowadays in order to get on that fucking list without having already an endorsement, a sponsor, somebody who has a reason for sharing your shit. So, and that sucks for a lot of kids coming up there. Like, how the fuck am I ever going to get there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They can't even, like, at least with the come up, bringing it back, you got to be pretty good to get shared. You know what I mean? It had to be pretty good.
Right.
Now it's like, you got this fucking tiny little fucking window. You got to do something fucking insane and dangerous as shit.
Well, and that's just what drives people to do what they see working. That's what makes people all the same, is because you can't necessarily like just do whatever and have it be pretty good and have it whatever. And I will give the benefit of the doubt to media pages that there is a lot of sharing of other stuff. My problem is with the amount of stuff that is just bought and paid for in relation to that.
Yeah. It's just, and once again, I don't have a spreadsheet in front of me of like what numbers are spent. I can't give you exact data, and this is, you and I are pulling this from like an ether, like a perceived, but everyone knows what we're talking about. We're not wrong, but we are on a level of how correct, how wrong are we? Because there is certain amounts of money that goes into something, what comes out. And
it can always be argued the other way. People can always be like, yeah, well, we post this much of this much stuff and we can only do this much with this many people and all of this and whatever. And there's
a reason. Just remember, there's a fucking reason it's intentionally vague. Especially, always apply that to everything that we do in our lives, whether it's BMX or within the world, the news, politics, everything. If they're being intentionally vague about shit, there's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason that they're fucking withholding. They're not being completely transparent with shit.
And that's like kind of a mission with what I do, is to like, there's always gonna be a line of things you just don't talk about. And that's the reality of stuff. And there's just a etiquette to, like, it's not a I'm scared to get canceled. It's a that's just objectively something I'm not gonna touch. But then there's the things that I personally feel like should get put out there. And that's the kind of stuff that I talk about. Like the reason we're doing this whole thing. I mean, one topic I wanted to talk about with you is I was curious your perspective on meme pages.
Dude, I'm so in touch with, like, I work with a 15-year-old and 17-year-old doing this
BMX meme
content because
pages.
their dad actually is the company owner where I do like residential concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, this whole morning I have a whole playlist on my SoundCloud of fucking meme music.
Yeah.
All like Pepe the Frog lore meme music, all the shit. I'm all about fucking memes, dude.
What
Yeah,
about the
there's a whole
BMX
bunch of shit
ones?
about it, but I think it's a new way of sharing information. This is a little bit off BMX topics, but meme shit's fucking great. It makes me laugh. That kind of shit, man, shows me that there isn't like it's called the Overton window. Sorry, I just remember that because my brain's neuron just jumped, like that monkey meme where it's like neuron activated.
Rewind
like
30 minutes, people. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, like, go back 30 minutes and that's what I was talking about. The Overton window, okay? But yeah, man, like I think because dude, like I said in that post, BMX is white trash, okay? It's a trashy activity. We couldn't afford motorcycles, so people started riding BMX bikes on the dirt tracks, okay? Our roots are kind of in like some hillbilly jumping off your dad's fucking like, your dad works on his own fucking car, so you took his ramps under his car and you jumped them, all right? You're from a low income, middle of America fucking family, all right? That's where we all grew up, and there's nothing wrong with that. This thing of like trying to be something more than we're not and trying to be so like acceptable, you can only listen to this kind of music, get these kind of tattoos, and just, I don't know, man, every individual in BMX, like, don't go back and apologize. Like, who you were. Yeah, you make mistakes and shit's ugly, and yeah, you might have had an interview with a Confederate flag in the background. So what? You're from Florida. That's how it fucking goes. Don't apologize for that shit. Be yeah, you. I'm trash. Sorry.
Be yourself.
Like, I'm not doing it anymore, but that's it doesn't mean that's who I was then. I just didn't fucking know any better. Things have changed. The world's gotten, more caring about that shit, and it's not wrong to care about that either. Yeah, you shouldn't have that shit up there. That's it. Yeah, you shouldn't have it up there. You did at one point because you didn't fucking know. You've grown as a person. You've bettered. But I ain't fucking apologizing to you. I never fucking apologize. Like, that's the whole thing with the cancel culture, dude. You ain't fucking... Just don't apologize.
Well, there was a point in time where neither of us knew skate park etiquette, and then we learned it. Because guess what? We're born knowing literally nothing. We have to be taught everything. So that specific example, yeah, you learn something and then you change based on it.
I went to Studio 334 and Chris Doyle almost hit me with his bike, kicked the back wheel out and almost hit me because I was sitting in the middle of the box jump. He's like, get out of the fucking way!
There you go.
And I'm like, well, I never did that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no shit. Like, yeah, sometimes it's fucking you learn on your face and your hands, dude. You know what I mean? People ain't gonna fucking babysit you or walk you through shit your entire life. And that's what's wrong with everything is everyone thinks that you should just know. You know what I mean? Like, you should just like, it's like, you should not fail. You should not fall. You should not have, nah, dude, life is fucking nothing more than a series of like victories and losses, just like riding is.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it so fucking enjoyable. If you landed every trick every time, you'd be like, man, this sucks. It's boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to work for shit.
Right. So coming back to the meme page thing, specifically in BMX meme pages.
Oh, I'm fucking fairly out of touch since Rodeo Peanut, admittedly.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
But there's some shit, like I see like Team Weed shit once in a while.
Yeah.
And some of it is like so fried, I don't even know what the fuck it is. Like, I'm like, God, am I that old? I'm just out of touch. Like, I don't fucking get it. Or maybe it's because maybe I need to be high to understand these sophisticated concepts.
I think it's just so inside of a thing that you can't know about it unless you know about it.
I mean, I love Charlie Crumlish and shit, man. Him and I were talking about doing some really fucking funny shit, 3D printing some accessories for his bike pegs. Just like funny shit. Like, maybe I'll get around to it if I'm not so fucking lazy. But yeah, man, there's just like meme shit. I don't know, a little bit of hazing and harassment. I'm all for it. It builds character. And this comes back to like the bullying shit. It can be overkill. I thought it was always funny with the Ben Huckey. Mm-hmm. Ben Huck, however the fuck you say his last name, with the fucking downside hand plant can on the fucking dinosaur.
Yeah.
And then Ben like posted a picture of him with like a gun. like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, that was so funny to me. Plus, just making a joke out of that, man. He's sharing it. He's laughing about it. Like, that's like what you have to do, man. If you got a shit talker, just fucking embrace hate. Just like the old come up days. Like, just don't get mad about it. Like, so many people just fucking get mad, but instead, like, yo, it should solidify you and your character, who you are, and just be like, yeah, so what? My handlebar's got a fucking dent in them. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
We're past that at this point.
Yeah, right? Like, and now, exactly, now nobody can fucking make fun of you about it because it's like, well, shit. We're out of ammo. We tried.
Yeah, good luck.
You know what I mean, dude? So, like, yeah, instead of, like, having, like, yo, I'm going to fucking report you to the, you know what I mean, to the fucking Instagram police because you were thinking wrong thoughts and we have to make sure that you are silenced.
Well, so there was a point in time where that was me. And it was because I hadn't, like, emotionally evolved to the point where I am now, where I'm like, you can't hurt me. You can say anything, and you
see what the fuck you even just said, motherfucker. Take some pride in that shit because that's fucking awesome. That, like, you can even admit, like, yo, who I was is not who I am today. I bettered myself, and I'm proud of who I've become, and I still like what the fuck I do. And fuck you, suck these nuts. Like,
but you know, the other thing,
awesome.
Thank you. But the other thing to do with that, though, is that what I feel like people don't sometimes realize when this whole meme thing is going on is that not everybody is there yet. So, like, when you lean super hard, what it's going to take is somebody, like, as terrible as it is, like somebody hurting themselves somehow and being like, I did this because you wouldn't leave me alone, for people to be like, oh, okay, maybe we do have to think about this before we, like, lean into somebody.
It just, like, so once again, it's just understanding, and that's the hard part too, because everybody has limits and you don't know where they're at.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Because my limits versus your limits versus a young kid starting limits and being harassed, what can they take? Like, I'm at a point where it's just like, you ain't saying anything that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm just older. I've been through the shit, so fuck you.
Yep.
But younger kids, you know, they're impressionable. They really care about what older kids say. They really care about, like, what professional riders say. And they could do that. Now, am I a person that believes that that should prohibit memeing or joking or dunking on somebody? No. Like, because, like, if somebody causes self-harm to themselves, I'm also an individual who says, like, okay, that individual has the right to do what they see fit for whatever emotional reasons, but they need a good group of friends. They need to become strong in themselves and in their circle of friends to know, like, yo, dude, pick up your homie when he's down. Get on that fucking meme page and start talking shit to these other dudes. Like, fire back, dude. Like, go make your own video. Fire back. Clap back. Like, don't take that shit lying down. And you'd actually be surprised because if you make a good, like, rhetorical video back, people will be like, all right, that's pretty sick. That was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you also gain respect. Men are fucked up, dude. You know what I mean? Like I said, me and Monkey, like, we used to get in fist fights over shit, and we're still, like, good friends. You know what I mean? Versus, like, girls, they fucking, like, some girl will fuck them over and they'll never talk to them ever again and hate that bitch until they're dead.
I mean,
it's nuts.
Can we say that might just be like a personality trait because between people?
You're sexist.
No, I'm saying,
are you categorizing that as feminine?
I was on my way there, and then I thought, I'm like, wait, I know dudes like that too. That's just a person thing. Like, people just do that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, you could categorize it. Fuck it. You could categorize it as a masculine. Listen, I always say that men, we do stay mad forever at somebody, but we're just so brain dead that we forget.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I won't forget what you did, or I won't forgive you for what you did, but I'll eventually forget. Women are the opposite, where they can forgive. They've got an open heart, open mind enough to do that, but motherfucker, they will never forget that fucking occurred. They'll remember that to the day they fucking die, that you fucked them over.
Karen.
Yeah, that bitch Karen. Dude, my mom will tell me stories about shit that happened in high school. I'm like, Mom, you're fucking 70. How the fuck do you even remember that shit?
That's funny. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's just like how everybody handles shit. Obviously, men, women, and everything in between have different fucking mindsets, what they remember, what they don't remember, what they care about. that's the problem with categorization too, man. You can't put all that shit in a box and say, oh, you like guns, therefore you're a Trump supporter, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, transphobe. It's like, yo, I fucking hate Donald Trump. Yo, I hate Joe Biden. Yo, I hate politics.
Yeah.
I actually am like the person who's like, yo, we should just get rid of the government. Uh-oh, flagged on YouTube immediately.
Oh God.
Uh-oh, putting the extremist in extreme sports. Oh no.
Luckily, we made it an hour in before that happened. No, one thing too that somebody brought up that actually is like the key, I think, to all of this is that it's a case by case basis. Everything is a case by case basis. You have to be able and willing to examine everything on a case by case basis because that's just the reality of like treating things with a reasonable mindset.
Yeah, dude, blanket solutions don't fucking work. Like Republicans being against like people like men using women's bathrooms. Yo, if I have fucking diarrhea and I gotta go in a fucking girl's restroom at the Flying J and I catch a felony in Arkansas because of that, I'll see your ass at the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? That's literally what the government wants to put in. Like, are we literally just like even having this discussion? Because the answer isn't like whether you vote Democrat or Republican. The answer is get the fuck out of our bathrooms.
Yeah.
Jesus, get the government the fuck out of our bathrooms, dude. Like, that's the fucking solution. It's so insane, man. It's just it's shit like that. It's pretty nuts to me. Like, especially now, like I said, I'm in that camp of just like, fuck you. I do what I want. I stay in my lane. You ask me something, I'll give you my 2 cents on it. And I'm willing to say, like, I'm not 100% saying I'm right on anything even I've said tonight. There's no way that I am 100% correct in every single scenario ever. You know what I mean? I can admit that, like, this is where I currently stand. Could you, like, hit me up and DM me, like, yo, this is a personal experience I had. Yo, you could totally change my entire perspective on something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just nuts, man. And I'm open to dialogue and discussion. There's a lot of friends who like really disagree with some of my viewpoints, especially with 2A shit. And it's just like, we've talked about it over and over and like later in life and shit. It's been like 6 months with my one friend in like Germany. We've had discussions and he's just like, especially being from Germany, a European country, he's like, thinks Americans are nuts.
Yeah.
But at least he's like, I understand your perspective. And I'm like, yeah, America's a little bit different than Germany. So trying to apply the same rules there as here, it's just like a whole fucking deep dive topic. But it's good to see like, yo, he can have a discussion and not be like, oh, you're this person because you like this.
Yeah.
That like people see a firearm and they see like fucking a dude with a mega hat on, sitting in a wheelchair with 2 AR-15s, like drinking a fucking Diet Coke. You know what I mean? Like, that categorization in people's brain is what it bothers me the most. Is like, you put all these people in boxes. You can even like imagine what they fucking look like. That's insane because you can't tell what people are into just by looking at them. And you shouldn't be judging people by by their skin color, by their like perceived gender, by their like
by anything
that they're wearing,
other than their character. Did Zach's computer die? Uh-oh. We might have lost Zach's computer. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Oh, no. Well, on that note, I'm going to hold for a second and wait until he gets back here. But I feel like... Wait, did we actually get into? We mentioned that 3 minutes ago. Did it happen? Zach is frozen. He hurt some feels. I don't think so. I really don't. The Democrats got him. The government hears him talking. No, because if anybody's listening, they've heard it from the very beginning. He got canceled by YouTube. I'm going to assume his computer died, and we're just going to have to wait on it to reconnect. Nice try, FBI. He got dial-up. That boy canceled. Your channel gonna get canceled. Staros called it. And the chat is on fire right now. Why do you want me to show my hair so bad? I don't know what happened. Oh, okay. Well, then we'll come back. Dude, the timing on that could not have been better. He got Epstein. Someone call him. Are y'all using Skype? Yes, we're using Skype. It works the best for what I'm doing. I don't know what happened. Do it for Dan. Hear it. What's happening? Hold on. Get it. Are we back?
This thing is fucking. Dude, I don't know what the hell. Just go figure. I started getting into some shit. My fucking internet just like shut off and then fuck.
Well, let's take it back to BMX then. Oh my God, reconnecting. We're having issues, people. I'm sorry. This is it's too weird. I hear Guantanamo is lovely this time of year. Oh God. I don't know what's happening, honestly. It was working perfectly fine. I have a pic of Zach doing a backflip at our trails. He is like 20. Okay, let's keep it BMX. I mean, I'm just trying to not get shut off here. I don't know what happened. We just reconnected though. I'm gonna hang up and we'll try again. X Games is cutting his fiber. See, to be totally honest though, I don't think we've talked about anything. This should qualify as BMX After Dark. I almost called it that, but didn't. But I don't feel like we've talked about anything super controversial or crazy or anything that anyone would be like super pissed about if they're just being reasonable, because we've been reasonable about it, looking at both sides of each topic and conversation and meeting somewhere in the middle. I hope this works. Not the gulag.
Dude.
Dude, the chat has been on fire.
Oh my God, that's sick.
It's
Hold on.
kind of awesome.
Dude, I'm literally sitting next to my like network box trying to get it to work. I hope I'm here.
You're here now. Okay. All right. So let's just try not to get cut off by whoever cuts the cord. And,
No, it's scary, but you're like, is he telling the truth?
well,
I don't
dude, the
know.
timing on that kind of sucked for that. Like, you're being a little obvious if that's what's going on here. Wait like 10 more
Yeah,
minutes next time. But
a little too coincidental.
what did you bring your notes with you?
Yeah, they're over on the table, but like I have a general idea. It was a lot of the stuff we already discussed. Not full detail, but like we grazed over shit about like just uh, the sport biking Olympics, the homogenous gray personalities and shit like that. Like I feel we discussed personalities being absent
Yeah.
BMX, which I miss. Um, that might be me just being an old bitter man too. Who knows? Like
I don't think so, and I think that it's coming back too. Like podcasts are bringing back just getting to know who people are in general, because you get to hear them talk for 2 hours, and if they suck, it comes out in that 2 hours.
yeah. I don't know, maybe just it might just be me and like the way I like think, and it's probably just the way I think. I'm not fucking wired normally. It's just like so many people are so surface level that it kind of just drives me nuts. That's the biggest thing about podcasts is like, yo, tell me something real about yourself. I want to feel like a connection, like shit like your friends know about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I always felt like in podcasts it's kind of just like that was me being hyperbolic, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No, I get
people
it.
being like, "How old are you? How long have you been riding?" It's just like kind of corny, being hokey, but it's a little bit more in depth than that. But it's never really super deep.
I think part of that is just people who do podcasts are trying to hit so many different things over this, what is essentially a short period of time. Did I lose him again? God damn it. We weren't even talking anything. We weren't even talking about anything bad. Come on. Don't cut us off like this. Damn it. Well, what I was saying was that I feel like in podcasts, people try to talk about so many different things. And if it's a first time podcast with that person, it's hard to talk about a lot of different like personal subjects when you're just trying to get to know somebody. No, I'm 28, 9. Gotta think about it for a second. Couldn't remember. Oh, let's try again. Circumcised podcast. Here we go.
Oh my God.
It's
that like
not funny anymore, government.
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can see you. I haven't, like, dude, I'm sitting here listening to you have that whole conversation.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like, I'm watching you. I can see you. I can hear you.
That's stupid.
Yeah, so my shit never said disconnected, but I definitely did get disconnected in the middle of all that.
Weird. Well, either way, I don't remember what I was even talking about at this point. Oh, podcasts and just like the fact that people try to talk about so much different stuff with a first time like person being on there. I feel like it's easy to fall into the trap of the basics and not go into that super in-depth thing.
Well, that might be why it's also important to have people on multiple times, because you can kind of pick up where you left off. Like a lot of like Joe Rogan shit does that. He has a guy on with who are you? What do you do? You kind of dig into some shit. And then by the fourth time you're on, you're talking about like space, travel, and gay frogs.
And DMT.
You know what I mean? Like
DMT's in there for sure.
Oh, yeah, that's part of the experience, you know?
That is too funny. So if a lot of the stuff that you had written down, we talked about, I've got one that is like, I don't know. We're going to see. But exactly what I wrote is riding for shitty companies versus getting a job.
Oh, that's a good topic, man. That's something that is good to discuss anyways on a whole lot of different levels.
I think so, because, I mean, I could argue both sides of this, and I would argue that it sucks to have to get a job.
Valid. It does.
If somebody who makes crappy parts is gonna help you out to where you don't have to get a job, there's an argument to be made for that.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. Like, so even like Redline, I was riding for Snafu, all those terrible, like, you can meme on me like a motherfucker, dude. Like, go ahead. I sold out, dude. I sold my soul for fucking a few $100 a fucking month. It's nuts to think of like the money I used to make versus like I wouldn't make that shit in a week right now and wouldn't be stressed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's one of the major things is like when you're younger though, you just want to travel and fuck off with your friends and like you're making a few $100s off of just riding. It's pretty sick to scratch by. It's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have shit for money, and sometimes you got to do gigs and whatever you can. Do stunt shows. If you can fucking do stunt shows, if you can fucking, I don't know, tile a fucking floor. But my main takeaway from all that and my personal experience is just be well-rounded. Don't ever put all your eggs in one basket, because the last thing you want to do is be a middle-aged man with an absentee, like it's been 20 years since you've had anything on your fucking resume.
Yeah.
And you're going into a job at entry level in your mid-30s.
Yep.
That's a type of fear that everybody should have.
Yeah, it's like
rough. Keep learning shit, not just bar spins, but like fucking real skills. You know what I mean? Learn some trades. I don't know. Don't go to college though. Learn some trades. We're BMX riders. You know what I mean? We grind ledges, learn how to do concrete, learn how to do woodworking, build ramps.
Something that is of value to somebody that you don't have to pay to learn, because YouTube is awesome. I literally, check this out. I'm actually kind of stoked on this. So our water softener in this house that we moved into was like acting up, and I just kind of felt like it wasn't working. So I watched all these videos and I learned how to set it, and I learned how to flush it and clean. And I literally did exactly what these people got paid to come in and do to service this thing by myself the other day. And now like I know how this stuff works. I learned about it.
Yo, we live in a world where every bit of information is accessible on your phone. Like I had the furnace go out in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yo, should I call HVAC? I called HVAC and I gave them an idea, and they're like, well, it's going to be 3 days till we can send somebody out. And I was like, can you give me an estimate? And they're like, it's going to probably be a few $100s. And I'm like, fuck this. So I just started watching YouTube videos and learned how to fucking, apparently like one of the filters, I forgot to change the filter and so long and it was causing something to burn out and then I had to buy a new piece and just put it back in.
Yeah.
That was it, but I learned on YouTube.
And it
Like,
wasn't a
yo,
couple $100.
yeah, I spent $70 versus spending hundreds of dollars and having to have no heat for 3 fucking days in the middle of winter. Instead, I fixed it in fucking 3 hours because we have like a local HVAC shop here in the city.
And you learned about that thing, and you learned how, if it happens again, you know.
Yeah, change your fucking filter on your house. Change the fucking filter, or else it goes to shit. That's what I learned. Don't be a fucking slob like me. But yeah, dude, like you want to work on your car, you can learn it. Hey, you want to learn how to do CAD drafting and build bike parts? You can do it, and it's for free. You can get Fusion 360 for free, and you can watch YouTube videos and learn how to do it. I did.
Yep. You can you can take
Nuts.
Is it Harvard? One of those Ivy League schools has free classes on YouTube. At least they used to.
Dude, any state school, you can go into any classes for free. Like you can go to OSU here and just go walk and sit in on a class if you want.
They'll never know, will they?
No. And you're allowed to do that. I learned that when Dorito was at OSU. He's like an adjunct professor and was like doing shit for finance down there. And he called me down and we like went into a class and I didn't have like any ID. I didn't have student ID or anything. We just went into a class together. Like I did that up at Cleveland State. He took me to an event up there, which was pretty cool too. But shout out to Dorito. Dorito's the fucking best.
For real. But to take it back to the conversation of riding for like a bad company versus getting a job, it's like, yeah, you could argue the other side of things is like, well, I don't like the fact that I have to promote this thing that might be unsafe or I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, you're a billboard. You know what I mean? You got to sell shit. And if you agree to sell shit, you got to polish the turd. I've been there. I rode for fucking a corporate ass company like Redline. One thing that's nice about corporate shit is they have money and they dump money into it. And then the next they just drop off a cliff and don't give a fuck about you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a real thing. Make the money while you can.
Yes.
And enjoy the experience while you can. I mean, if you get an opportunity, I mean, it matters what your values are. Sometimes you got to say fuck it and not take it. Some people are like that. I can't tell everybody what they should and shouldn't do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But me personally, yeah, fuck it. I had an opportunity. I took it. Do I regret it? Yes and no. It's a learning experience. What the fuck is the point of having regrets in life?
It got you here.
Yeah, I rode for Snafu.
Hey, I actually like
their fucking joke, dude.
I like their brake cables.
Yeah, fuck it. Like they had some cool products when like Matt Behringer and Dave Frymouth were on the team.
And Nick Bruce, when I did a podcast with Nick Bruce, and we kind of talked about this thing because he used to ride for MGP. They made scooters and like really bad bikes, and it got him to where he's at today. And now, like, he has what he has, and he could be working a normal job today if maybe it hadn't been for MGP giving him a shot.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. And if that's what gets your foot in the door, I mean, Nick Bruce is like seriously one of the most talented motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
Like, if it got his foot in the door and kept him motivated. Also, shout out to Nick Bruce. That dude was coming to our skate park on Ridgeway when he was like a fucking teeny bopper.
Yeah.
Tail whipping the 5-foot spine and shit. You knew he was going to fucking be a fucking phenom one day because he's just like doing unreal shit that like me and Monkey in our 20s were like, dude, this kid's fucking killing it.
That's cool to hear. I never heard from anybody because in my eyes, it felt like it went from I'd never seen Nick before, never heard of him before, to all of a sudden people were in Ohio were talking crap because he rode for a scooter company. And I'm like, who are you talking about?
There's a photo of him tail whipping the old 5-foot spine in Ridgeway that like my mom took.
Nice.
And we have it on like an old SD card. I'm like, holy shit, that's Nick Bruce. He's a fucking Olympian. And here he is hanging out at our skate park like before he was anyone.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. Like, pretty fucking wild.
Those opportunities, you never know what stepping stones those might take. So it's like when you see people and you see people hating on people for that. And it's like, yeah, but it sucks to get a job. And if you want to get a job, go get one. Like, You don't
Yeah,
have to
there's
do that.
everywhere's hiring.
Literally.
Every single place is fucking hiring.
Yeah.
My advice is just like do both.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I
I'm
do.
I'm kind of happy mine went my way because like I said, I'm not the kind of person who's very good at polishing the turd and selling it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's why the whole thing with like Redline and a lot of other people didn't want to fuck with me because I'm like, yo, if you make trash, I'll tell everyone it's trash. I don't care how much you pay me.
That's
Like
where I'm at.
it's like, sorry, if you make bad shit, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
But I evolved into that. I tried to lie to kids. Admittedly, it's a fucking lie. I was literally like selling them shitty things.
Yeah. And it
And
sucks.
risking my own life at the same time when I'm riding a shitty thing that could break in half when you're front flipping downstairs over a rail. You know what I mean? Like doing some wild shit. But I also appreciate the fact that where I ended up within my career, everything I've done, every trick I've ever done, trip I've paid for, trick I've done, whatever gnarly shit I got into is fully by my own choice, funded by my own self. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
around a group of friends who are very supportive, and that's literally the best thing you can fucking hope for. I never had to worry about doing a trick because I needed to get 3 clips for an Instagram edit and use a hashtag. You know what I mean? I just did exactly what the fuck I wanted to.
Yeah.
And I'm still at that phase, and I kind of like it. Like I get to ride when I can. I'll film when I can. I got to fucking meet Delecky, and I shot a photo with him, and Howard filmed. You know what I mean? And it's just like still doing shit on the old fucking bucket list. You know what I mean? Getting to ride and shoot with awesome fucking people.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And I still just do my own shit. And I make, dude, what I was making on Redline, I make in fucking 3 days. You know what I mean? We're doing concrete.
Yeah.
So that's a thing too. Like I was broke, dude. Me and my friends, like I had Jake Colson, Eric Umbarger, like we're all living together in this tiny fucking 1-bedroom apartment, living off fucking stovetop ramen. Everything went towards like rent and gas. And we would literally just pedal everywhere because I didn't want to fucking spend any money on fuel and just film shit. And I don't know, made some of the best fucking memories on the lowest budgets.
Yeah.
You know? Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does afford stability and things. And when you get older, that's what you do need. That's why it's harder for like pro riders, I think, as they get older to stay around because you just have more expenses.
Oh yeah, and money doesn't buy happiness, but it'll buy things that make you happy.
Yeah, like a jet ski. I've never seen anybody in a jet ski frowning, you know?
Daniel Tosh.
Yeah, right? That's a banger line, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it just affords you stability, and that's just like being honest with getting older is just like, yeah, I have to fucking like actually consider what I'm doing with my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I had like a midlife crisis even, dude. I went from like living in an apartment and then just having a complete meltdown of my life. I'm like, admittedly, I was like 30 years old and I just had like more tools, but I didn't even own a bed. I didn't own a bed. Like I didn't buy a bed, dude, until I was like in 2019. Okay. It was the first time I bought a mattress for myself. I literally had I was like, I have to do something with my life. I gotta get my shit together. Got a job working like heavy highway construction.
Yeah.
And just, dude, I was doing fucking 70, 80 hours a week. Just
Jesus.
banging shit out. I only filmed, like in my salad days part, 1 year I only filmed like 4 clips.
Damn.
And one of those clips was me breaking my leg. Like, you know what I mean, dude?
Yeah.
Like, real shit fucking happened. Life happened. Now I got a fucking house, 2 cars, and things are chill. I finally have the room to like have friends over and sometimes that's life, man. You got to make that shit happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, to come down to it, take those shitty opportunities because they might turn into something good. And if they don't, talk shit on them, burn your bridges, and let them fucking light your way.
oh, that's like a good quote though. Damn.
Yeah, fuck it.
You got any good BMX conspiracy theories? That was a topic Sponge brought up, and I was like, damn, that's a good one.
Damn, BMX Illuminati.
Yeah, like is there any good conspiracy
Holy
theories?
shit, this goes back to like when I still had Twitter and shit. We were talking about who was I talking with? Like Tony Maloof. Even like I mean, dude, yeah, there's fucking gatekeepers within BMX.
Oh, that's
There's
not
totally
a conspiracy
like an Illuminati
theory though.
group.
I'm talking like real conspiracy theory that's we don't know if it's true or not. But we know that there's gatekeepers.
I mean, I don't know as far as like I don't know if there's an Epstein Island of BMX, and I certainly hope there's not.
Yeah.
If
let's
that
hope
exists, I will find you.
not. Yeah.
Like I will find you. Like like if that kind of shit's real and happening with a culture and a sport and an industry that I love, fuck you. Like we're going full goon.
We're
Like
gonna
we're not
burn the
fucking around.
bridge
That
and
shit's
light.
fucked up.
Gonna burn
There's
that
my hard
bridge.
line in the sand, guys. I'm a complete individualist, but we don't fuck with kids.
Yeah.
That's it. You start fucking with kids, it's time for the wood chipper to come out. That's where you belong, in the fucking wood chipper.
Damn. So Brett is in the chat right now. Brett Roffling.
Hell yeah,
He
Brett.
said 5 people control all of BMX.
Yeah, he's right. Brett knows his shit, dude. He knows his shit. Brett understand. Like it's like that. You ever see that meme of like all the companies that own every news organization, and Warner Brothers owns all this shit, and all the pharmaceuticals are connected? I mean, it's kind of like the same shit, man.
Man, I want to know who they are now.
Listen, Brett's a good fucking dude, man. You should check out his shit. Plus, if you ever need a wedding filmed or anything like that, man does fire work. So, Brett's been a homie since day one. Dude bird forever, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
God, my attention span just disappeared for a second.
Dude, I could read off all the things because I did like that Ask Me Anything kind of shit on Instagram.
Yeah, what did people want you to talk about?
All right. Do you mind if I fucking go grab my phone?
I don't care.
You guys can like look at my back wall for a second.
Okay. No, we ain't getting canceled. You guys like my new room? It actually kind of looks like that light would be lighting my face like there.
Yeah. Riley's sister actually made that for her. It's like a paper mache light. She made it for her. It's pretty cool. Nice. And then we got like a set of lockers back there and a guitar, 2 guitars, cactus. My house is very eclectic, which most people are like, would suspect everything would be black and guns. And once again, I got motherfucking pink walls and shit, dude. I got Furbies and shit. Get out of here.
2 people said, he's like about to get canceled again. And somebody else is like, Zach's internet's about to go out again.
Oh, dude.
No, I think we should make this like a sort of normal thing where we just talk about the stuff that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah, because it's uncomfortable. And like, and once again, for like reasons, we're not saying we're correct. And it's always good to have counter viewpoints on things too, because I only operate in, it's like a computer. The information that comes in is the information I can put out.
Yeah.
And there's always new information coming in, so things change.
Yeah.
Obviously. The first question I got asked on my Instagram by Mario FBK, he wanted to know what's next for us and them. I mean, I know Howard is nonstop filming. He's the busiest motherfucker. He does everything, especially now with his working with Animal and stuff.
Yeah.
Us, them, I mean, shit, we'll probably film another video. I'll be putting out a section when I'm fucking 40.
Which is sick, though. Real quick, I want to say this is the first time there's ever been a Instagram question answer on one of my podcasts, so there you go.
That's something that's cool, like getting a like ask me anything kind of shit, and then like maybe that's something we could do because it builds interaction between people too. And
yeah,
I mean, internet friends, yay.
Yeah, I just personally, when I do one of these, like other ones, obviously this is totally different, but like when I'm doing one with a person for the first time, I try to like fully steer the conversation without having to do any of the outside.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so,
keep it going.
I got a bunch of them, dude. The second one from Matt. Matt, I'm going to ruin your last name. Perry.
Oh, he's in here. He's
hell yeah,
for
Matt.
You to ask
yes, BMX is so fun, but why people suck in our counterculture? And I'm like, I don't know if people suck. I mean, obviously, in the general populace, there's a lot of people who are cool and a lot of people who suck. But if you didn't have things that sucked, you wouldn't know what things were cool.
Yep.
So,
and to add to that, like earlier, you talked about how BMX is supposed to be this middle finger to everything else. It's telling you what to be and what to do in life. And what I've always found hilarious is that within BMX, we have all these people who try to do what the outside was trying to do by saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's like, dude, this is where we're supposed to go to get away from that. Why are you being that?
So here's the thing about BMX. So
You sounded like George Bush just now. It was weird. Anyway.
Oh, dude, I have friends who ask like, Charlie, he says, I want to know why people in BMX hate you if you do nothing bad. And I'm like, well, define bad.
Yeah.
Having an opinion can often be very bad.
Yeah.
Not being afraid or hesitant to say things labels you as I'm a liability more than an asset to your company, because if you do shitty things, I will out the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Because I operate within a strict set of moral guidelines. And if you fucking do that shit, you fucking burn me on money. If you fucking take advantage of me, I will fucking make sure everyone knows that you are scum.
Yeah.
And people don't want to take that risk.
Right.
No matter what view count or how many front flips or stupid bullshit that I do. God. And so I don't know. I don't know if people hate me, but some people probably hate me, and that's cool. I like that. My friend Anthony Hitchcock. Anthony Hitchcock was a dude who like grinded that rail, and then they fucking put it on the news. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I know
like,
Anthony very, very well. Like, I grew up riding with Anthony.
They're fucking like looking for information, and they're like, yo, dude. They're tagging him and shit on the post.
Yeah.
Yo, your friends are snitching, dude. You got to get some new friends. I would never fucking do that. Never snitch on your friends, dude. If you get caught riding like government property and they're like showing that on the news, don't share it through like a private DM or something, or like if you run into him, don't fucking tag him, especially when he posted the clip of him riding it. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, at this point, where do you see yourself in BMX? Have you thought about your own company? Where do I see myself? I don't know. I'm just an old man. Don't listen to me. I'm yelling at clouds.
Okay.
Like, I'm just like, whatever. You can take my fucking shit as a grain of salt. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about it, hey, I'm open to have a conversation. I love talking to people. It's my favorite thing about the world is getting to meet and talk to new people. Everyone's got new experiences.
Yep.
Everyone's got their own life. It's pretty cool. It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
And BMX helps you do that. Where have you ever thought about owning your own company? Yeah, sometimes I kind of wanted to make an us them and then just make like, I wanted to bring back like old BMX shirts. Dorito really, really wants me to do and bring back the legalized murder shirts. So yeah, shout out to Steve Luckett. He also sent me the original stickers and shit. Bringing shit back like that for us them. I've almost been tempted to like pull like the George Soros of BMX and then just start sponsoring kids and like paying them like, I don't know, a few $100s a month just to make videos that are like, I don't know, them like knocking over bird scooters and smashing shit and just being antagonists and just getting money for it. Like not actually even a company, just paying them to do shit and be like the counterculture to like everybody else being PC and shit. Like I want to see jackass stuff. I want to see you like jump out of a speeding car into a bush. And I would totally pay somebody to produce and make little shit videos like that for, I don't know, I'll share it on my page. Well, I don't know, we'll start our own page. I don't know. I've always just debated that and just given like, because I mean, shit, man, if you're like a 19-year-old kid and you get like $300 a month from a company, you're like, oh, I fucking made it, dude. I fucking made it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I've thought about that. Maybe make some like shitty shirts and just be like, yo, rep these. I don't care if you even ride. But if you go out and like smash bottles behind like a 7-Eleven, film it and send it to me.
Oh, that is funny.
That's my standpoint.
Real quick, I just got a text from Cuesta that said, "How was the Zack Gerber interview?"
What fucking Cuesta? Where you at, dude? I just talked to him recently. I wrote him a whole fucking book about like mental health and you know, getting like mental health doesn't work. Yo, I'm gonna break this down. We're gonna have a serious conversation right now. I realized something, and I need to share this with all my male friends. So you know how like there's been the push for men to discuss like mental health issues and talk about shit?
Yep.
We have to understand the pretext of that beforehand. Understanding men and women, right? Women have what's called like a glass ceiling, especially when it comes to like jobs and shit. You hear them talk about how they can only get so high in the corporate ladder and then they get stopped.
Yeah.
Right? Women have that. It's very true. Men, we don't have a fucking rock bottom. Okay? Like we can just fall and fall and fall. Women, when they start to fall, people will come out the woodwork. They'll come out the DMs. They'll come out. Family will show up. People will like take care of them. So understanding that pretext that men don't have a rock bottom, what happens is if you open up, especially publicly, about your feelings, if it's a, like BMX within your friends, you're not going to get that same reciprocated response that a girl would. You're not going to get that, people being like, hey, I'm there for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you are having mental health issues, speak to a professional, okay? They can help you. Don't get on, and I'm guilty of this. I'm fucking not better than anyone else, man. I fucking have spewed my guts out on fucking social media, and it's bad. If anything, it makes shit fucking worse.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all I'm trying to say. If you actually need help, understand that, be comfortable with it, and then go to like professionalhelp.com or something. I don't know. There's all sorts of websites. There's all sorts of ways to link with professionals now. Somebody who actually knows their shit. Don't be posting this shit on fucking Instagram because it ain't going to help. Some motherfucker's going to be like, hey, man, I was there. And you're just like, no, this isn't what I need to fucking hear. I need some like solutions, some ideas, some, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It's for real fucking, oh, and Questa fucking just messaged me now too. Go figure.
But he said a bunch of stuff, but I'm waiting until you finish because
that's I'm sorry. An important. Go ahead, man. I just wanted to share
that's
that
an important.
If you need help, dude, don't be hesitant to get it, but don't expect it from from social media. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the other comment to that too, is if you see somebody who is doing that, tell them to go get professional help.
Yeah. And try not to do so in a rude way. Yeah. It's hard, man. I don't know how to fucking do it. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, you have to walk the line of like, you have to see how that person's acting, the things they're saying, and then form what you're going to say to them based on, it's not a one response fits all kind of situation. You have to be like cognizant and sympathetic to what they're saying to be able to get them to even do that, because it's possible that you say that in the wrong way and it pushes them further away from it.
Yeah, especially as men, dude, we're not good with communicating. Let's just fucking admit it. We are not. We are cavemen. We're like, me sad, me angry. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's one of the major problems too. So if your friend's sad about something, you're like, you pussy. You get stronger. Me strong, you strong. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard, man. Yep. Women have a better developed brain and a communication system that we are fucking nowhere close to. So that's just my little 2 cents for dudes out there going through shit. I've been there. I've been in real fucking rough spots. We all have. But the best thing you can do is fucking get some actual help from somebody who can fucking put shit in line and you can understand things, because if you're looking at social media or friends online,
it's because that's what they do.
That's my 2 cents.
We ride bikes. They help people who are having problems.
Yes.
So that's serious. Take that to heart. And now we talk about Steve Cuesta. He said, dude was way ahead of his time in the front flip era. He single-handedly inspired me to learn them. I remember seeing him trying front flip turndowns. I got to be specific. He put hashtag front flip turndowns before it was a thing, and eating complete crap over the box at Section 8.
Oh, yeah, I just like landed on my back. It was sick. Especially on a box jump that's like 6 foot fucking tall. Not afraid to party. Fuck it, dude. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty funny to be known for like one thing.
Everybody,
you know what I mean? It puts some things in the shadow that I've done, but either way, I'm fucking happy with like. Everyone's happy with like the tricks and shit they've done.
Yeah, and the whole one thing kind of deal is like, think of any rider for an example, and immediately your brain goes to the 1 or 2 things that everybody wanted to see them do.
Yeah, like Garrett Reynolds is like bar spins in and out.
Yeah. Truck the table.
Yep. There's like everyone's got like their thing. You know what I mean? Like Bruce Chrisman, I want to see him ride backwards and jump stairs fakie. You know what I mean? Like
with a bar spin.
And then win X Games.
Yeah. Yeah. You know so shout out to Cuesta.
Yeah, Cuesta's a fucking G, dude.
For real.
All the OGs in BMX, man. Mid school, new era, like when people were first coming into shit, like when bikes were getting lighter. Shout out to the DK weapon. All
Actually,
that shit, man. Quest is a good dude. And he has his own
yes.
he's always been somebody who's done his own thing, run his own business. Also, shout out to all the BMX riders who who started their own businesses over the years. Painting companies, carpentry companies, Corey W. especially, like he's always helped me out, put me on, doing cool builds and shit. Shout out to skilled BMX riders who fucking still find time to weekend warrior it and still can fucking change their oil in their car and do real shit,
Yep.
build stuff, contribute to society. It's ironic that we're the ones who are destroying private property while also building private property.
It's funny. It is.
It's ironic,
funny.
dude.
Yeah, that there's no doubt about that. And I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Crap.
Football's a hell of a sport. I wanted to shout out Rusty Shackelford, one of my 3D pew pew homies. He was talking. It's weird, dude, how many dudes within the community are also like former BMX riders or are BMX riders or skateboarders. It's pretty crazy. I think it's just like our age group too. We were that fuck you, we will not do what we're told. You know, age. And him and I were like, he's discussing. He's like, yo, you got to talk about the heyday, early 2000s, like where it all started. Nowhere Fast, Criminal Mischief. I mean, I touch on that shit. That stuff is always near and dear to my heart. I will forever laugh when people smash bottles. That's kind of why I'm into guns. I get excited. It's just brain dead. It's just like the bang, the noise. I'm like, same excitement as smashing bottles behind a 7-Eleven or something. Just garbage, trash antics. I'm always going to be into that shit. I'm just hardwired to laugh at stupid shit like Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Yeah, and that exists in the same place of like, I would personally never do something like that, but I'm not going to tell you that you can't.
Yeah. It's just like,
It's that simple.
yeah, that's just me. Like, I'm just fucking, I'm a kind of a garbage person, dude. Like, I've done some sketchy ass bad shit, but it's never with intent to cause harm.
Yeah.
But sometimes we end up just getting a little reckless and somebody's pushing a fucking dumpster down the hill and it's tumbling over to somebody's backyard. And it just turns into a fucking story, you know? You might fucking break into an abandoned factory in Dayton, Ohio and light off fireworks in it and it catches on fire and the police show up. So then we have to abandon the car that we went into, hide in the woods, report the car stolen, then pick it up the next day from the impound lot. You know, things like that you just get into sometimes, you know?
Jeez, statute of limitations. What made you bring up the DK weapon? What did you say right before that?
I mean, I don't know. The DK weapon shit just,
No, what made you bring that up? Because
Questa gave me one.
Well, I was going to say something in regards to what you were saying right before you were like, shout out to the DK weapon. And now I remembered that's what
that was like my first fanboy moment. Steve Cuesta gave me his old DK weapon frame.
Wow.
And that was like a big fucking deal to me, like I don't even know if I was a teenager, but you know what I mean? Like just somebody who I seen in like the System Cycle video.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's given me a fucking, like, that's a big fucking deal, dude. Like that was like a moment in my life.
I remembered. Yes. I knew we'd get back there. That's amazing though. Like just the fact that you can have those moments and that there's people who are willing to give you those moments is great because it seriously influences you as a rider and helps push things along. What I was gonna talk about was how many companies lately have been hooking up older pros or older riders in general. And it was something that I complained a lot about a few years ago, saying like, just asking the question of like, are older riders being overlooked in BMX because they were at that point in time? And I think that BMX has finally recognized that like, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, Doyle going to the wheel mill and doing a 360 turn down as far as he's ever done them before. And that's the only trick he does that night. People just want to see Doyle and they want to ride a frame that says Doyle on the side of it.
Yeah, especially our age group. Like Doyle was fucking somebody you like looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of riders that you looked up to. And then a lot of people still my age, even like the 30 plus club, We still look up to those dudes. They have a special, like, nostalgic place in our heart. So when you see him fucking getting hooked up, you're like, oh man, that's so sick.
Dude, freaking Nasty is getting a signature frame with Fit that they're making in the US, and like he's still riding super incredible. He might be better than he's ever been before. Cuesta is like amazing to this day.
Yeah.
Just incredible. And Doyle, when you watch Doyle ride at the wheel mill, you're like, you really just 450 whipped the second box in the jump line that is a massive hip. Like, you just did that like it was nothing.
Dude, good. It's good to see shit like that. It's also, too, I mean, BMX was in, do you remember, like, the old shadow things that was, like, never trust anyone over 30? Or was that UGP? There's a lot of things like that. Yeah. Like, BMX seemed to always have an age limit, and now it's just kind of like, nah. It's good to keep people on it because I want to see people on 20-inch bikes their entire life and not on mountain bikes. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I fucking said it. I don't give a shit. BMX for life. Oh, 2 wheels till I die. No, you can have fun. I'm not telling you not to have fun, but my personal opinion is BMX is an entire separate culture. It's entirely different from mountain biking. And because like I said, I'm somebody who likes to smash bottles and get into antics and do dumb shit, will never, ever fit into the category of a mountain biker. Okay? They would never even want to even entertain me because, like, can you imagine a mountain biking video where it's like Cannondale and then the next thing I'm throwing a fucking garbage can over a fucking handrail onto fucking like some bird scooters?
Listen, though.
Like, no, mountain biking can't handle that. That kind of behavior can exist in BMX and skateboarding, but not in mountain biking. So that's why I'm not pro mountain biking. It's because of the culture around mountain biking, not actually riding a larger wheel than 20 inches.
All I'm going to say to this is that you are talking about being all about the counterculture, and what could possibly be more counterculture than taking that to the mountain bike world?
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Not interested, though. Not for me. Someone else can do it, though. Somebody can bring the jackass to mountain biking.
Hey,
that'd be pretty sick.
There's room for it because it probably doesn't exist.
I want to see the Little Devil thing, but with a $7,000 road bike. You remember in Little Devil when Wessel's wearing the mask? Ryan Dunn's driving the car and they fucking smash into each other. Like Wessel jumps off the bike and it smashes and just drags under the car. Yeah, go do that with a $7,000 mountain bike, and I would love to see that, and I will share that video on my Instagram.
That's funny. But at the core of that is like you also just want to see the people you look up to riding 20-inch bikes, BMX bikes.
Yeah. I don't believe in like the cross branding shit. I believe that's a conflict of interest. I've been over this before. I had 1,000 motherfucking mountain bikers being like, fuck you. And I'm like, I don't care. Who are you?
It's literally it comes down to the same thing. This whole conversation has been based on. It's like, it's your opinion. You're the only person who has to live with it. Just because you said that doesn't mean that anybody has to take any action based on it. Like, are you just so insecure in yourself and your feelings that Zach saying that and feeling that way affects you so much that you have to be like, oh, if you, Zach, like, no.
Yep. Well, I mean,
scroll by and keep going.
Yep. In reality, the answer is yes. They are 100%, so much so that they're willing to limit your views on your videos, the content and people you reach on your social media platforms. The answer is 100% yes. They want to control what can be said, seen, and shared. But that's an entire another fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But
one thing
it's real.
Yeah, it is real. We figured that out earlier when you got cut off, so I don't want to get cut off again. I'm just disappointed in the fact that not one person has brought up the fact that I'm wearing a shirt with the Miller High Life lady on it holding an AK.
That's like, what does it say? Ohio what?
691, because that's the crew from, Worcester Skate Park area. Chris Markham, Joey Greenwald, Ricky, Sponge, and then under it says Ohio Life.
Damn, that's pretty sick.
You want one? I got a box of them.
Damn, that's pretty sick, yeah. I need to get an AK, but...
That's where this goes. Like, I like the I need to get one of those.
I'll pose as a lady and send it to you with an AK, and then
you can
post that side by side. Who wore it better? Go ahead, talk shit. It'd be fucking. You catch me in a sundress out here. What the fuck you gonna do about it with an AK?
God, that's
I'll wear
funny.
a ski mask though instead of a sombrero.
Yeah, what is that? Is it a witch's hat?
That's culturally inappropriate.
Oh, I also no. You want to talk culturally inappropriate? I know it's hard to see for the people who can't see the green because it's green on the shirt. I took the shirt down further, gave her more cleavage, and made her skirt smaller.
Oh, sexism.
Made this shirt like 10 years ago.
What word did I just say? I don't know. I'm fucking tired. I worked a fucking 11-hour shift today, dude. I fucking got all the concrete in. I sent you those photos.
Yeah. Well, we just did 2 hours of this. We could jump out of here anytime, man.
Yeah, it is like 10:30, and I might play hooky from work tomorrow and go fucking. There's that Springfield flea market starting tomorrow. Might rain though, but that flea market down in like Springfield area is fire, dude.
Where is that at?
The fairgrounds down like just outside of it's not Route 40. It's the exit right after that. There's this huge fairgrounds for like antiques and shit.
I should have been more specific. I don't know where Springfield is.
Damn, it's like it's halfway west. Between Dayton and Columbus.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do anything like that.
I just go because, dude, there's like, I bring a fucking one of those wagons with like the inflatable wheels and end up loading the truck full of shit, and then my house gets filled with even more shit.
I get it, man. We just moved into this house and we need all this random stuff that you'd never know you needed until you have a whole house.
Yeah, because there's like walls that are empty and you're like, I can't look at this.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh, sick. The wall's empty. I'm so basic with that. I don't care. I don't need anything.
Dude, I'm with you 100%. I'm like that. Like, I'm atypical man. I could have a fucking lawn chair in my living room with a TV and be fucking happy. But the missus, if she wants to fucking put everything up in the house, I just let her run rampant. She can do whatever she wants. I have no criticism on any style. As long as she's fucking happy, that's all that matters to me.
Oh, for sure. What I love is that Victoria literally doesn't care. Like our living room, there's 4 BMX frames on the shelves, some bars, a pair of shoes, like BMX my riding shoes, and there's literally within 10 feet of me right now, there are 4 complete bikes that are in the house in the living room.
That's sick. I mean, yeah, my shit is just like eclectic as fuck. Like,
oh yeah, I've been in there in your house. There's
like
so
the mirrors,
much.
everything is just filled. Every bit of wall space is fucking covered. So, just drop my house on the ground.
That's okay. I'm gonna let you get out of here since it's been 2 hours. We didn't. Guess what, Zach? Oh, wait. I just shot up the Skype to Joe Rogan in the background. Because I had his podcast on this screen and I was listening to it.
Oh, shit.
What I was going to say is that we made it. We didn't get canceled.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, hopefully, like,
weird.
Have you ever thought about taking, like, sound clips out and, like, sharing those kind of things?
Yeah, I'm just lazy.
That'd be a good way to do stuff, too, man. And then, if you wanted to keep doing it, like Ask Me Anything things on Instagram, like, I'd be more than hyped to, like, share it on my actual profile as a reel or whatever, and then get more, because if we just keep doing it, get more and more people involved in it, and we get more and more topics.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be talking all kinds of shit from climate change to aliens to fucking human rights to mining lithium in Africa and slavery. Like,
basically,
there's a million topics, dude, that I'm all over the place on.
Hey, I've said it before. I just don't want to say it too much. Like, I'm okay with being known as the Joe Rogan in BMX.
I'm cool, and I'll be the Alex Jones of BMX. I'm 100% in.
Yeah. But the problem with that, it's not a problem. It's just, he took it too far. He was right about so many things, but he took them too far and got crazy with them.
Oh, let me tell you, all right, we're going to be talking about the frogs, and okay, they're turning everything.
Dude, you're going to hurt yourself trying to do that voice for any longer.
Oh, I know, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so funny, though. Yeah. And that's the problem, too. People can't even laugh at shit, dude. He's literally like the fucking Ric Flair of conspiracy theories, dude.
He's just crazy, and people are like, we can't have it.
Oh, it's so nuts.
Anyway, though.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm I'm gonna take a shower and go to fucking bed. But yeah, if you want to make this a thing, I'm totally down to. I mean, people who are involved in it, I'm sure they want to go more. They're like, hey, you guys just kind of talked about this. I want you to really talk about this. I know Zach knows some shit because I DM'd him. Like,
yeah,
I've been totally got like to start actually getting like real topics, like 3 topics, and just sticking to them and going like real into them to the point where we even like debate each other. Like, well, what about this? And we're actually trying to like figure things out together. And that can be cool too, because then people like are thinking while you're thinking, and then they can have different perspectives and blah, blah, blah.
I agree. Next time we got to do it with my buddy Noah McBride.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good with this stuff, and I think he'd be stoked.
Hell yeah. You can play that shit back, Jamie. But it'll be play that shit back, Noah.
There you go. All right. If we don't get off here, we will end up talking in front of the hospital across from Campus Rampus for 6 more hours.
Oh yeah, that's fucking real life. That's me. I'll talk fucking nonstop, dude. I'll lose track of time.
Yep. All right.
All right, man.
Thank you. This was fun, and we're gonna.
Yeah,
do
I was
more.
sick, man.
All right. Have a good night, and good night, everyone. Don't cancel
Night,
us.
everybody.
Just kidding. You can't